Before we dive into today's episode, I have something truly special to share. Next September, I'll be leading an intimate women's retreat through the south of France and northern Italy, and you're invited. Picture this: mornings exploring the colorful markets of the French Riviera, afternoons sipping wine, and a hotel view with golden Mediterranean sunsets. Whether you love photography, food, or just want to reconnect with your playful creative self, this trip is designed for you. Spots are limited, so if all this sounds like your kind of adventure, please visit tourwithabsolutely.com and look for the tour France and Italy with Crystal. You can also send me a message or check out the show notes. Hey guys, my name's Crystal Kenny, and I'm in love with creating. All things artistic and imagination involved. I'm an American girl who chased her creative dreams all the way to Paris, France, making a living using photography. This podcast takes you inside the stories of all the artsy folks I've met along the way and gives you that extra push to discover your creative gifts. The desire to create is deeply inside each and every one of us, and I give you the tools and inspiration to find a new way of living a more creative life. This is La Vie Creative, the podcast. If you've ever been curious about textile making, painting on textiles, creating wearable art, basically, you're going to love today's show. We talk with Mariló Martin. She's a local Frenchie, and she talks all about the process of making her beautiful painted silk scarves. So welcome to the show, Mariló. How are you?
How are you, Crystal?
I'm good. I'm so happy to talk to you today.
Yes, me too. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, your work is incredible. It's so different from anything I've ever seen. And I'd like to talk a little bit more about how you create these beautiful scarves and things, but I always like to ask people where they're from and how they got into the work they make.
Okay, so first it's I started my art with art photography, and my earlier job was I was a professional in fashion and textiles. So the work I do today, my hand painted pieces are a combination of my past work in fashion and textile, and my creativity, my artistic possibilities, and I joined the two, and this is the result. So, but I'm very interested in textile and in fabrics in general, and painting is something that is part of me. So this is the result of so many years of work and of artistic expression.
Beautiful. And where in France are you from?
Actually, I'm from, it's near Paris, from Saint-Cloud, from the Paris suburbs. So I live in Louveciennes. It's very well known because there used to be the house of Karl Lagerfeld, and there is, some designers like Agnès B. They live here, and the painters, the impressionists, they used to paint this area, and Monet used to live here also in Bougival, 2 minutes from my place, and Renoir and all these painters, because we are close to the river La Seine.
Oh, wow. Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice area.
And so textiles have been in your life for a long time from working in fashion.
Yes.
What inspired you to start making your own textiles and your own paintings?
Because, when my activity for some reorganization reasons had stopped in my earlier job, this was in 2010. So I had to, redefine myself on a professional point of view. And then I started making art photography, and I started doing textile jewelry, which I'm still doing actually. But I exhibit them in certain places because they are very they are like sculpture pieces made out of textile, but they are statement like cuff bracelets, and they take a very long time. So this gave me the idea to start something by myself, but I didn't know what exactly. And I was hired by an Indian lady in India to do the collection for a month, working with her as a designer, not as a maker. And then she asked me to design pieces for a show in Hong Kong, and she wanted hand painted pieces. So she sent me to a workshop in India to work with the man, so he would paint the pieces I would have created. And well, it was like artisanal and nice, but it was not like something really different what this lady wanted. So I started showing the person, trying to paint by myself, and this is the way it started. I started painting on scarves, on cashmere, and then I went to India 3 or 4 times on with staying with people in their workshop, and they showed me the technical aspect, and then it's my own creativity that, with the technical skills of these people, that enabled me to start my own.
That's amazing. I love that you learned in
Yeah,
India.
it's for me, it's India is part of my life, because when I was in fashion, I used to travel with designers to find the best fabrics and embroidered pieces, and all the creativity I think came from there. And also I was an art photographer, so I used to start my photography by shooting views of India.
That's beautiful. India is an amazing place. I'm
Yes.
dreaming of going one day. I love it's inspired your work so much. So, talk a little bit about how you create these beautiful hand painted scarves. What does the process look
Yes.
like?
So actually, it's really like a blank canvas. I may have an idea sometime, but mostly when I have the feeling, I look at a lot of photography. I go to museums, and I have a lot of things within myself, which it's like nourishing yourself with the things around. It can be nature, it can be of course, trees, flowers, but it can be abstract also. But it's a mix of all the things I have seen, and the feelings that I have, and the thing I want to do, but without knowing exactly. So it's like a blank canvas. I stretch my fabrics, and then I start sometimes only with colors and doing something, and I don't know what the result will be, unless I have in mind I want to make large flowers, but even the large flowers, I've got so many colors prepared in advance for other pieces that I've been doing, that I hardly fix myself on preparing specific colors. I just make them one after the other while working. So the result sometimes is also a surprise to me, but it's always like something I may keep it on hold for a while, and look at it the next day or the day after, and then with putting it on hold, I know at a certain point what I have to do on the piece. So that's really the creative process, like without really, it's very much instinctive. That's really for the creation, where you don't have a real hold on what you're doing, but it's made of your experience, and your hands know what to do also. So you need to be confident in yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Because I feel like sometimes you don't know when the piece is finished. So, it's
Exactly.
good that you take.
So you keep it, on hold. If you don't know if it's finished, you keep it on hold, and the day after, when you look at it, or 2 days later, then you know if it's finished or not. And of course, if you have an idea, or like you want to make a specific things you have in mind, or flowers, or with a very a specific artistry, in the way of drawing the flowers. Then it's something which is more controlled. But then when you put the colors on it, then this is where also there is always some instinctive happening is always there.
Yeah, definitely. Things can change once they touch the
Yes.
material.
The material is also
And
very important, because it also gives you sometimes the material, and the fabric feel is the start of something, because it gives you an idea to do something.
And so once you start painting on the material, it just like absorbs into the material and then once it dries, it's ready to wear? Do you have to put any special coating or
No, well,
something on
it's
it?
not ready to wear. That's where the technical skills happen, because there is a lot of work also of preparation. Sometimes, like it depends if you want something like really like a watercolor, really, where colors will merge with one another, or if you want outlines to be very clear, or so depending on the result you want, you treat the fabric at first with something that will avoid, the color to just to run away. So you have to make a preparation. Otherwise, you can work directly, and I can work with thickness also. So when I use thickness, obviously, even if I don't use them, once the pieces is absolutely finished and dry, it has to be 100% dry. I have to roll the pieces in very large paper rolls, which is a specific paper that will hold the steam of the water, because there is a steaming process after painting when pieces are dried. So when once rolled in these specific papers, I can roll one piece after the next in the same roll. So not too many, because the more they are, the less the color will be fixed. I mean, to have really a perfect result, you need to put a few pieces, and then it has to stay in a vertical steamer. I've got a professional one for 5 hours, and at a certain temperature. And then when I get out the roll from the steamer, I open it, remove the pieces, and then they have to be worked into water, so that all excess, when you were saying that it absorbs the color, all excess has to go in the final waters. And then after drying, making the hand fringes, it's ready for selling.
Wow, it is a very
Yeah,
technical
it's very
process.
technical, actually. It's very long, because I also paint on canvas. When in my personal exhibits I show my all my textile art and my textile collection, and opposite I've got my canvas paintings, which are different techniques. And it is true that the process of painting and the creativity is a thing, and then to make it a wearable piece is totally different.
So how long does the whole process take to make one scarf?
Actually, for painting them, it depends of the kind of if it's a single color or multiple colors with a lot of designs and drawings. Sometimes there is 3 techniques in one piece. So the 3 techniques have to come one after the next, but not within the same day, because the piece has to dry. So sometimes it can be 3 days. Then there is the next day, the 5 hours steaming and the washings, and we can say a week. But for the finishing part, I'm not finishing pieces one by one. It's like when I roll them to put them in the steaming machine, I have to have a couple of them to make the finishing process. Otherwise, it would be too time consuming just for one. But we can say a week for a few pieces to be absolutely ready.
Wow, it definitely is time consuming.
Really.
And you also create wall panels too. Talk about your wall
Yes, the
panels.
wall panels are actually the same process like painting on canvas, except that the wall panels, when I want to have a really light effect and transparency effect, I can work on silk also, like the Japanese used to do in the past. It's a specific silk fabric, which is really giving a brightness to the colors after steaming, and which was really used in art processes without talking of wearable art. And like the Japanese kakemonos, or and actually after painting these textile pieces that I want to have ultimately as a wall panel, I do the same process. I steam them, and then once the piece is totally finished and ready, there is like I don't know the word in English. It's marouflage. I think it's a kind of gluing the textile piece into
Yeah.
canvas.
Yeah, yeah, like placing it into a canvas, gluing it
Yeah,
on there.
it's a special technique, and then it's stronger on the canvas, and then you can well either frame it, but when it's it's a large scale wall hanging, I prefer to make the finishing like the Japanese did with like a stick on top and a stick at bottom. And you can even roll the canvas to even for people when they buy them to bring them to their place. It's easier, and it when you hang them, it's I like it because it's like it moves. It's not like um,
It's not,
a heavy piece.
yeah,
It's very airy.
yeah,
I like the airy effect and the flexible effect of the kakemono.
yeah. It sounds like Asia has inspired your designs a lot, but how has France inspired your
Well,
designs?
France mostly, because I used to live towards the forest side, and I'm still living in the west suburbs. So we have a lot of forest and gardens, and I work with the Museum of Giverny with their boutique, the boutique gallery that they have inside the museum, where they sell special pieces. And I've been working with them for a couple of years. So I'm very much into, of course, all the flower subject, and water lilies, and all these things are always part of my work. So sometimes I put it on hold for a few months, and then again, when the season comes, every time there are subjects that that come by themselves. They are imposed to me by the seasons naturally.
Yeah, definitely. You have inspiration coming all around you,
Yes,
it
and
sounds
my
like being.
fashion, my fashion background in when I mean fashion, I'm not talking about the basic fashion industry people can think when the word fashion is pronounced. I mean fashion in the artistic way, like the couture. I'm very much interested all the time in all the fashion shows in Paris. What happens around Paris, and well, there is that part also that comes to me like my instinct is made of that of the fashion world, the art, the nature. So it's a combination of everything together.
Definitely. It sounds like a beautiful combination. And talk about your ethical approach to textiles. Are you using products only from certain countries, or how do you work
Yes, well,
ethically?
it's called slow fashion. So, because, well, I'm using only the amount of, materials and dyes that I need. It's not like there is a waste, or there's never any waste, because I'm, painting on the piece I want to make. Even in my twillies, it's the smallest pieces that I do, the smaller ones. They are made like one by one. I cut them and I paint on the amount of fabric that will be required just to make that one piece. There's no like cutting afterwards, or so there's no waste of fabrics. And well, my also my ethic for doing my work is initially is very clear, because I buy my textiles, my woolen textiles like cashmere and wool, come from the weavers from Kashmir directly in raw form. So it's without any treatments. It's just ready for me to work on it. And so I buy the right amount of fabrics that I need. And for the silks, I buy, I don't know how you call it. We call it stock dormant. It's the left like fabric rolls from couture or fashion houses that are luxury fabrics, which you can't find, at a wholesaler's place, or you need really to buy them from specific places. And these are the amount of fabrics that the fashion high brands cannot use anymore because it's too little to make a whole production for them, and they are very good quality fabrics, and this means zero waste also. In the circle of fashion, even what is left in the end is never left, because people like me, like artists or craftsmen people, we can't afford to have luxury fabrics produced for ourselves, because you need to have a huge amount of fabrics produced. It's not within our records, so it helps us work on beautiful fabric and do our job also that we wouldn't be
Yeah,
able to do.
that's amazing. I love that it's recycled. It's like upcycled, we say, where you can take the leftovers
Yes, and I use
and use them.
French textile dyes. So, and well, the processes are really like it's human size process. So I'm only it's only me who work on my pieces. So it's not like it's a studio. It's like an artist studio actually.
And talk about how your dyes are made. Like, how are the colors made? Where do these colors come from?
Well, actually, I buy textile French dyes, which have technically, which are fixed onto the fabric with a steaming process, as I explained before. So these are the raw colors, I would say. So I'm buying. There is a range which is very wide. It's the same colors that they use in couture and high fashion. So when they make pieces for the for the shows, for the catwalk, and as an artist, I buy only primary colors, because I can't afford also to it's an investment to buy all these colors. And actually, when you are a colorist yourself and an artist, you don't need to buy all the colors. You can make them yourself. So I start really from the primary. Sometimes the pink or the green, I need to have one to start to have the full palette. But all the rest of the colors are made by me, like mixing them, but I do it really instinctively. I never write down any recipe for my colors, because it's been so many years of doing this that I never prepare myself beforehand.
Yeah, how long has it been now? How many years?
For my textile art, it started in 2010, really, as an artist. And for my textiles, I would say 2014. So it's been 10 years now.
Yeah, you have a good feeling for what you're doing.
Yes, and this happened also when I'm talking about 2010, 2014. Sorry, also for the scarves and the hand painting pieces. This is after 20 years experience working in textiles. So this is added to my past experience.
And how has your work evolved and changed?
Well, it's mostly something you can't control. I would say it comes through working every day. And there's the more I work, the more it's the experience, and it's something that comes to you. I mean, it's no more a choice that you decide to do this or that. It comes naturally. One day you start doing something different, and you take that path, because I try a lot of different things all the time without knowing what will be the result. So I take a lot of risks.
Yeah, it's fun to experiment.
Yes, and it's only by taking those risks that I find new working directions.
And what's something you wish more people knew about textiles?
Well, I think some people know very well, or some don't know enough how it is done, and mostly because people are used to seeing what is offered in the shops, and but some people are aware of craftsmanship and all the work which is behind, and the fabric sourcing, as I said before, if you have an ethic on where you get your fabrics from, how you pay for your fabrics also at the right price, and also not wanting yourself to make a work that will sell easily, even at a small price, but that is done like mechanically. And it depends also what you're ready to give of yourself, because if you do it like as an artist, it's really like a big investment. It takes your whole life. I mean, you can't like you can't count your hours, or it's a full involvement. And if you do it like just to sell a few pieces and have to get back the funds of your work, then it's a different approach. For me, it's a whole investment.
And since you do this for a living as a job, does it take away the joy of making, or do you still enjoy it just as
No,
much?
I enjoy it a lot, because I don't. Sometimes you need to, how would I say, to push yourself to achieve a certain result. But all if you are curious and you let yourself have all aspects of creation happen, like look at I don't know, fashion magazines, look at images, go to a museum to see an exhibition, go in the forest to have a long walk, and just looking at the light and how it reflects in nature, and how you connect them through your brain to then keep it aside to so that it comes back in your work one day without having to think of it really consciously. That's the joy, the whole joy. And then when sometimes you start doing something without being conscious, and you feel like your hands are doing it. So that's the full joy of doing. Sometimes you have to, when you take the risks that I explained before, sometimes you feel like a bit lost, because if you want to do something different, or you start doing it and you don't know where you're driven to, so it can be a bit like some, not anxiousness, but it's a risk. So, and you have to accept it, so that after that, when you have passed this step, then you see the result, and then it's really how would I say, more than,
It's
yes,
joyful.
joyful. And also the final thing is when the people who look at your work, they give you the right feedback. I mean, even if there are different people, some people will prefer that piece or this one, or when it's one of a kind pieces. I don't know if I said that before. They are unique, so only one design on a piece, like a painting. So when you have the people feedback, that's when there is a real big joy around the work.
Yeah, I love that. You're wearing a painting on your neck. That's pretty
Yes,
cool.
exactly.
How do you, how do you define creativity in your own words?
In my own words, mostly it's um, instinct. Before, of course, the technical skills and the technical process, but many people can go to have lessons or go to classes for that, but then ultimately, really to pass a certain a step, then it's to be to do what you have inside yourself. So it's more like, I don't know what word would be the best for that, but instinct.
Yeah, I would say instinct. It's more instinctive. That's
Yeah,
creativity. It just
once you
comes
have the base,
natural.
once you need to learn a bit, like, or I mean, find it by experience. Some people never went to have lessons or classes, but then they have to experience, and then they let their instinct, the instinct, for me, the instinct is the inner self. So I mean, this is creativity for me.
Exactly. I love that. Well, I can't wait to show your work. Everybody check out the blog with her beautiful pictures and beautiful
Thank
work.
you.
And where
where can people connect with you and buy your work and learn more?
Well, there are two, main ways. So physically, the easiest is my presence every Sunday. Except on exceptionally where I'm part of other exhibitions. People can find me at the Marché de la Création. It's the Paris art market of Montparnasse. So it's the metro station is Edgar Quinet. And we are like around 60 or sometimes more artists. So they are painters, sculptors, myself as a textile artist. There are ceramics too, and a few other artists. Other than painting and sculptures. So that's every Sunday, and all year through, from 10:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. And my Instagram can be looked at, and I really edit pictures of my studio, of the work, the different processes, and sometimes the final pieces. And if people want to connect with me, they can talk to me on Instagram, and then I can give my contacts. So my Instagram ID is Mariló Martin, so Marilo Martin, dot créatrice. Thank you very much, Crystal. It was really nice talking to you.
That's perfect. Well, thank you so much, Mariló, for sharing with us. And we'll share all of that in the show notes, guys, so you can just click and check out her work. It's absolutely beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thanks so much for tuning in to La Vie Creative. You can find more information on MissParisPhoto.com. And if you enjoyed this show, please feel free to share and spread the word for all my creative guests. We have the power to help them to keep doing what they love. See you next time.